Kia ora, Bula Vanaka. Welcome back to the Pacifica Youth Cup here at Pukekohe Navigation Home Stadium. Day 2 action here, and our match Fiji versus Tokelau. With me in commentary, Willie Poching. Willie, how are you today?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Thanks for having us. It's awesome being here.
Fiji and Tokelau, two teams on the inside of the draw, and the championship side of the draw. So both these sides, in the first match of the tournament, will be looking to establish some combinations. Not a lot of training or chances to build those combinations prior to the tournament, so over the next 5 days there'll be a lot of learning going on.
Yeah, for sure, and there'll be a long wait for these guys. It would have felt like a long wait watching these other games leading into this, just waiting for their chance to get out there and show their wares. They would have done a lot of training. They just want to get out there and have a crack now and have a pop at the opposition.
Crowd absolutely lighting up as Fiji performed the theme beat. And now as we look to their team, their captain, one to look out for today, Teniela Maisiri, Fielding High School, part of the New Zealand Sevens team. He played at the World School Sevens recently. He was an absolute threat at that tournament and one of the dominant players in First 15 rugby this year, as well as we look to the Tokelau team. And Jonathan Solomona, one of the players to look out for from Rongotai College, a fullback in the 15-man game, and fullback today, a dangerous runner with some real speed and footwork to his game. You'll note some deep benches there. Willie, interchange unlimited throughout the day, so as many interchanges as they like, because they are playing multiple times a day. It's important that they keep those fresh legs.
Yeah, and really important, taking into consideration the conditions. It's hot, it's humid. You see a lot of the teams rotating players on and off. It makes for a better spectacle. I feel especially one of the common features with all these teams that I've seen is the size feature. There's some big boys out there, and when you're a big fella trundling it around and putting yourself out in this weather, you're not going to last too long. So the rotation of the subs are important.
Absolutely, as Jonathan Solomona kicks us off, and it's nearly dead. It's thrown back in field, of course, forward. So an early error for Fiji, and Tokelau can capitalise.
And that's the second time this afternoon that we've seen that error off a kickoff. And for the young fellas, it's something to note. The big fellas out the back and standing on the dead ball line, your job is to protect that line and to get the ball. It's not just the halfback's job to catch it. They've got a responsibility. They've got to do better there.
Here comes Tokelau attacking up front through Kaiva Tulimanu. Big prop from Westlake Boys High School. And another big runner cutting back in field for Tokelau. On that occasion, Joseph Parida. Strong in the tackle. John Martini. Penalty awarded to Tokelau.
And it's a penalty that goes to Tokelau, but quite lucky Fiji that they didn't get the quick play of the ball, because if they had attacked to the right-hand side, it looked like they were going to go in for a try. This stoppage in play, this penalty actually allows Fiji to reset their line.
Sams, you saw with the tap, and he's found Tulimanu, who offloads. Yosoa still going. Driven back with some good defence. The captain, Tuinayao. Josefa Tuinayao doing a good job initially, but some ill discipline, just not releasing the player, and eventually stripping him illegally.
Yeah, not the start that Fiji would have wanted, but they've got to get excited here, Tokelau. They've got to stay patient.
There's Pereira again. Joseph Pereira. Patient set here for Tokelau. An excellent opportunity at the start of this game for them to put some points on the board. Big hit coming in there. They go quickly back to the left, over to the winger, Rafaeli. He's held up. He's tried to cut back in field. Dummy runner out the back. Fa'avai through the hands, cutting backwards. There's Martini who offloads. Rafaeli eventually going to ground. So they're in centre field. Fa'avai, a long pass to his winger, Walofa Masoi. That was the final tackle of the set, I believe. So Fiji
and
will be able to
some
attack
real
off the
credit
line.
to Fiji for scrambling. They had to defend 2 penalties, a couple of long shots, big fellas trundling up the middle. They've done a really good job, Fiji. It's their turn to power themselves off this line. I've seen it today. There's a little bit of impatience with some of these young fellas to throw the long ball when there's an opportunity on the edge, when the better option for them is probably just to go through the hands and hold defenders up. If they can show a little bit of patience, the tries on the edges will come for Tokelau if they get the opportunity again.
Fiji just trying to get out of that corner, working their way up through the set. They kick on the fourth, a long kick. Well, it's high into the air, in fact, and it's going to bounce awkwardly. It's claimed by Fiji. Captain Taniela Maisiri jumping into the air to claim it. As they go one off, and a nice ball into space here along the wing. Attacking is Favela. No, they'll call it back. The forward pass. Unfortunate there.
Yeah, I think he got him for an obstruction.
Obstruction, in fact, yes, you're right.
Which the winger came in, and the big fella was just trying to run. It was Ravosai. Sorry, it was Favela, Malcolm Favela, the back row for Fiji, who found himself in some open space, but illegally found himself in. It was a play that would have saved the yardage set for Fiji because it was a poor kick coming out of their 18. It was more fortune than anything that it bounced back in their hands. But they've committed the penalty and they're back in good ball defence again.
Tokelau definitely had some handy territory early in this game. Off the back of some ill discipline from Fiji. Need to convert, get some points on the board to show for the possession they've had. But Fiji's defence, it's been tough to break early. They'll hit it up again. Busy as Kaiva Tulimanu.
Just looking at, it's easy to say this, that the halfback's important, but little Sila Fa'avai, the number 7 for Tokelau, looks like he's going to be important in directing his troops to get around.
Yosa is going to go over, straight from dummy half. Sams Yosua does an incredible job spotting a gap and going right into it, injecting his speed, and he scores the first try of the game.
And a wonderful, well-taken try off a quick play of the ball, an opportunist try from a dummy half. But all the pressure was on Fiji, right from the kickoff where they committed the error and the ball went dead. They had to drop out. They've not seen any action down the Tokelau's half of the field yet, and we're 6 minutes into the game. All the pressure's been on Fiji. The opportunities have been for Tokelau, and they took it then, and rightly so. They've opened up the scoring, and they've been the better of the two teams right now, and they've just got to take some time, fix their discipline, Fiji, and get themselves back into this.
Sams, you saw from St. Paul's College in Auckland, from the Richmond Rovers club. You just see the work of him there, taking the opportunity and some nice footwork after beating the initial marker to get in behind the covering defence and go over to score a great run.
We spoke about the conditions and how it plays for some of the big fellas, and how it can be draining, but it's perfect. It's the best weather and the best track for these faster guys and these nippy guys to take opportunities around the ruck when there's sloppy markers or slow defenders getting onside. If you can get some of their big fellas playing the ball quickly, those opportunities will come more.
Solomona with the successful conversion, rather. Tokelau take a 6-0 lead over Fiji early in this one. Excellent start, just the reward they were looking for that possession we were talking about.
For sure, and all their action, all their attack so far has been down in the Fijians' end because of those indiscretions and those penalties that they've committed, Fiji. We get to see now what they're like coming out of their own end. We get to see what Fiji's like when they can turn the defensive pressure on the Tokelauans right here.
Great anticipation from Yosua, the footwork. He'll be forced to be aware of him, Fiji, from dummy half today. He already looks very threatening, Sams Yosua. As now Tokelau look to calm things down, put together a nice completed set. As Tulimanu again hits it up, bounces away from the first defender. Great carry there. Again, Yosua backs himself into the line. Good speed. Marion Sinifili taking it up there. And this is a great set here for Tokelau. As now they put it high, Fa'avai with a nice kick, and it's awkward. It's claimed by Fiji.
Just in front of the kicker.
There's been a call from the referee.
Disappointing. Disappointing for Tokelau that they finished the set in that fashion. It was a really good set, and it was Kawai Tulimanu, his quick play the ball again, bumping defenders off, just getting down to the ground, getting up quick for Yosua to get out and be threatening again. Alarm bells for Fiji here that they allowed the opposition to go 70 metres off a kick-off set. A few things they've got to try and fix up defensively. They've had to do a lot of it so far, but next time they do it, they've got to be a lot stronger and a lot more committed to their tackling.
Tuinao driven backwards, but it manages to offload. And they'll continue forward. Penalty for Fiji, a reprieve for them. Muvini Lafanivalu on the carry.
This is the opportunity Fiji have been waiting for. Bit of good ball, bit of pressure on the opposition. Get to see what Tokelau's response defensively to defending their line is now.
To Tokelau half. A few opportunities they've had so far. So Tuinao lines up for the first carry and beats the first defender. Yosefa Tuinao. Abrasive work there from the big man. Now My City clamouring through the tacklers. The two co-captains coming in and making an impression with their big running games, as now Fiji not far away from the line. Just a one-off runner, centering things. They can play to both sides. They go to the left. They're attacking, a little kick in behind, it's bouncing, and it's claimed. Kelly Lasanga will score an opportunistic try from a deflection.
And it was off a deflection, a bit of an opportunist, as you said. But they were urgent. They had the urgency to beat the opposition to the ball and put it down. They had a couple of opportunities to go to that left edge of their attack, where Tokelau had to rush, scramble, get around. They didn't quite do it on the first play, but it was Ringamotu who decided to carry the ball and he stifled the play, but they chose it and went to the right side at the second opportunity, and it was a nice kick there from Potofa, and a try there for Fiji to open up their score, open up their account. And the lesson for both of these teams is they're both committing scores against themselves when they're giving penalties away.
Certainly
the discipline is so important. And we come back again, the discipline to defend in these conditions. It's so hot. It's so hot to be having to tackle the opposition, especially with the size of some of these athletes out there today.
You just look back at Tokelau's penalty that they conceded, offside from that kick straight away, and then another penalty just two tackles later. They're then defending their line and conceding a try. And the game is right back to even Stevens. It's 6-6 Fiji v Tokelau here. And the try to Kelly Lasanga from Tauranga Boys High School.
And Fiji have made one boo-boo from the kickoff. And we had a booming kick from Tokelau. We'll see how they handle this one.
Jonathan Solomona with kickoff responsibilities, and the last one was well placed, wasn't it? Nice and deep, and forced the Fijians to make a decision, and
it was
in
deep
fact
and
forced
it
an
went
error.
right to the corner, and it was one of those positions. There's three blokes in the corner. There's the front row who's standing on the dead ball line, the wingers on the line, and the halfback, and you got it right in between all three. And it caused a lot of confusion, and they were all looking at each other. No one ended up taking it. And to Tokelau's fortune, the ball went dead. We're going to try and do that again right here.
This one a little shorter, taken cleanly by My City and dropped off to Tuinayao.
He's been busy. He's been busy, the big front row for Fiji. The vice-captain, Tokelau, has been willing to carry the ball in these early stages and defend for his side.
Some good line speed coming up there from Tokelau. Fiji go one pass wider to try and find some space, but some good pressure coming in here. Tokelau attacking now. Ravosai.
Excellent defence. 4 tackles, they're 35 metres off their line. If they can, that's a fantastic defensive set from Tokelau.
Patofa kicks for distance, and it's claimed by Solomona, who steps and takes a defender with him.
And because of that, and it's unfortunate he's knocked the ball on, but because of that defensive effort on the back of that kickoff, they were almost going to start their attacking set on the halfway line. Unfortunate for Solomona to come up with a knock on, but that's a real credit, and it's something the coach has got to give them a pat about their D.
Absolutely.
Tough call.
Very tough call on Jonathan Solomona there. Didn't seem like there was much separation between hand and ball on that occasion. However, as we know, play to the ref, and in this situation, Fiji with an opportunity to attack. And Tokelau's half.
Very deep.
Yeah, standing very deep from the scrum. Hitting the ball at pace, I'm sure. It's into the hands of Sunday. It's taken high. Troy Sunday. Favela strong in the carry. Refusing to go to ground. Ravosai committing a few tacklers as he launches himself into the line. Now they go one wider. Tofa over the top to Lasanga. And it looks like they've called a knock on the play. So Tokelau, that'll be a relief for them after some staunch defence.
And that's another one of those plays that I was talking about. These young guys, and I give them credit for their vision. They're seeing that there's space, and the wingers are almost, they're unmarked. But because they're trying to go the long ball, as it's travelling, the defensive players are able to just get off and drift out. Whereas if they go through the hands, the ball carriers are able to hold the defenders up and preserve that space and give that winger that run and when he gets it. But they're just getting a little bit too eager to throw the long ball. And because that was the case, Tokelau were able to get numbers there and force an error in the play of the ball. Better defence, better goal line defence from Tokelau on that occasion. But some attacking structures that they can fix up Fiji and promote and be better at next time.
You'd have to say Tokelau at the size disadvantage, but their tackling has proved sturdy so far in this match.
There is a distinct difference in there. They've some big athletes in this Fijian side, and as you'd expect, they can run.
And one of them, Troy Sande, The big tackle coming in there, driving Tokelauans backwards.
Even Taniela Maiseri, the captain, the halfback, he's a big looking athlete.
Again, some good contact coming in. This time the co-captain Tokelau with a good tackle. Whaavai kicks along. This will bounce into touch. So a nice calm set there for Tokelau.
Yeah, interesting. I was just having a look. They got some really good kick pressure, Fiji, on the kicker from Tokelau. And I just thought for a moment there may have been a ricochet and the kick pressure may have touched it, but as it rolled into touch, the referee decided there was no touch. Fiji get the ball now, but a bit of control, got to the end of their set. Tokelau conserve some energy with this break now, go to your defensive work.
Sila Whaavai from Rongotai College. Plays first 5 in the 15-man game, and you can see he's got that kicking game. He's aware of the space in behind the defence.
For sure. Yeah, found that space well.
So now Maiseri, the ball in hand, and he passes off into contact again. Tokelau, some good line speed.
Yeah, very good, very good. And I'm just thinking because of the size difference and the sides that it might play into Tokelau's hands, if they can keep the ball alive rather than kicking into touch. If there's moments that they are feeling their fatigue, then I back you to find touch, but they've got to try and drain the opposition of some energy. These big fellas from Fiji, keep them in the game, keep them working. Don't let them have these moments of rest, moments to re-energise, reinvigorate and go again.
Nice kick to touch, and so Fiji, an advantageous position for them to attack from. Tokelau 20, Sunday a quick tap, and his co-captain again, Tokelau, going forward, net by 3 defenders, and his leg drive, pushing through them. Maiseri heading off to Sunday, he goes close to the line, and they have to drive him backwards. Call held, wanted to dive over, it'll be marched back. Whaavila, Malcolm Whaavila. Whanivalu from the base of the ruck, sending it out. And Ravosai, and these big Fijian runners committing a lot of Tokelau's defence of attention. Having to commit a lot of numbers to those tackles as they send it wide. There's numbers. They cut back with the step. Vitinibua. Now the pressure coming in on their half, and Tokelau.
They've just been
great
done for
defence.
offside. Just been done for offside by the referee on last play. Tough on Tokelau. They were outstanding on that defensive set. But because of this penalty, they're going to have to be outstanding again. A couple of moments there for Tokelau. Read them coming down the short side, having a look where Maiseri was, positioning themselves to attack the line, getting the reads on them.
Aquila Patofa takes it quickly, hands it off to Belenasa. And now Maiseri at the line. Use the dummy runner to good effect. To Tokelau. Again, tucks the ball under his arm. And takes on the defence. Options both sides here. They go short and over the line. Malcolm Whaavila scores Fiji's second try. And that's just pressure on pressure building up, and Tokelau finally caving.
Yeah, they were really, really good in the lead up. As I said, their scramble, their urgency, their willingness to get in front of the ball carriers. But a great carry by Fiji there, just to get over the top of Sila Whaavai, the number 7, the small number 7, big man on small man. Simple spot, put down right next to the post. You'd expect Maiseri to throw this one over and extend the lead out to 6 points, but gallant defensive effort for the Tokelauans, but just unfortunate last play on the set before. They give the penalty away, they commit a penalty on last play, someone shooting out of the line too early. Just had to call to arms. They need another set now as they had on the last kickoff, restricting the yardage. Fiji, we'll see how they grow from this. We'll see how they grow from taking this lead for the first time in the game.
You can certainly see the confidence building in this Fiji side. As a kick spins over the posts, and it's 12-6. Their lead over Tokelau here.
And again, you spoke about the size difference in the sides and how big and athletic the Fijians look in comparison to their opposition this afternoon. And they couldn't do much better than find the smallest bloke on the park to run to.
Well, that's it. When you're seeing so many of these tackles involving 2 or 3 Tokelauan defenders, there's going to be a moment where it's a one-on-one, and those situations is where they're getting punished, isn't it?
That's right. You can have all the structures and all the systems in the world, and sometimes in our game, big man just beats the little man.
Size matters. As Solomona kicks it off, and this one bounces in between. Another well-placed kick off, and running it back at them is really nice. That was a nice carry, despite getting it on the back foot there. You can see Fiji using that interchange, a few new fresh legs on the field. This time Declan Davis on the carry. Quick play of the ball. Over to Vetini Bua. Lifted. Nearly a very dangerous situation there for Rory Vetini Bua. Some frustration after the tackle made. Glad he was put down safely.
For sure. You talk about getting in a dangerous position and going past the horizontal. He went way past it.
My City finds Sandy, his centre on the outside. Now My City with the boot, hammering it downfield, and it's found a lot of green grass. Solomona having to scramble back after it, and there's a lot of pressure on him in the chase from Lasanga, who does well to wrap him up. Not a lot of chance to counter-attack there for Solomona.
No, because of the great kick chase. There were a couple of Fijians on the trace, and they were hurtling down. He was quite comfortable in his return.
Big shoulder coming in there from Declan Davis on the carrier Peter Lafaeli. Fongali. And quickly again, Psalms. Yosua gaining metres from dummy half. There's been a much needed injection on attack for Tokelau as Fa'avai's kick is off the side of the boot and into touch. A disappointing end to a very nice set there for Tokelau.
Yeah, it was building nicely. They're starting to get some momentum. They've had a couple of moments where they've had some good ruck speed, where people like Psalms Yosua has got out of dummy half and made some inroads in the defence. But they just stopped pushing now. When they get those opportunities for the dummy half to get out, then he needs some support. He needs some threats to the defensive line so he can either break or pass and make the most of those breaks. But they're just not coming at the moment for Tokelau. And on the back of that, bit of fatigue, sloppy kick out on the full, they're back defending their own end again.
This will be an important stanza here for Tokelau. They've conceded a try in the lead. And Fiji have the momentum, but if they can hold them out before halftime or even get some points of their own, they can come out in the second half and really compete. But that defence is going to be tested, and tested well by Fa'avila again, who offloads, and Sirawalu is in the clear. He steps, manages to hold on to the ball, but an offload instead of being bundled into touch. No.
Yeah, I think he's right, the referee. But some nice play again. They've threatened down this right-hand short side again through Maiseri. He finds Fa'avila. Big man, gets over the top. Right-hand offload to the winger, found some space. And just here when he gets to Solomona, the ball comes loose. And they've adjudicated that as the ball's flying out, Solomona's got a touch to it, therefore deeming it to be a knock-on. Some good football from both teams. Nice play down the short side. Some urgency, some scramble from the Tokelauans to get back, force the error. Good game, there's 3 minutes to go. 3.5 minutes in the first half. Still very, very tight. Could be anyone. They'll be very, very comfortable, I think. Tokelau, if they can go in at 12 all.
Tokelau, some desperate work there after the break from Whaavila and the offload to Serowalu, who was in the clear, just managed to get that ball dislodged as he stepped inside off the shoulder of Solomona. And so again, it's Sams Yosua who attacks straight up the middle. He's been key to their attack today. Worked into the hands of one of their big ball runners this time. It's Yosua Namia, the big man, with a big run. Huge run there. Coming onto the field and making an impact is now Whaavai Fongali. Rafaele from the base of the ruck, and Whaavai looks to kick. It's high. But the challenge for the kick isn't a good one. Vitiniboa collects it with ease. And Fiji will be able to play it out here. Tokelau again, maybe just not finishing the sets as they begin them.
Yeah, and positionally a great kick. He put it in the right spot. Disappointing with that right edge. There's only one person chasing and putting some pressure on the Fijians. They could have either taken the ball and scored themselves or put them right on the try line to start their set. They've got to, as you say, finish those sets as strong as they have in the build-up.
Potofa on the carry there for Fiji. And Maisiri out the back. Aloafiti taking it to ground. Maisiri again will kick long. A big punt on Taniela Maisiri. And it's a great kick. It's into touch. Could it be a 40-20?
It looks like it might be. I think it might be.
The flag's up. What's the ruling?
Oh, he's given a handover. Be interesting to see where he kicked this ball from. It was well into the 20 of the Tokelau's area. But the referee's made his mind up. Yeah, he's way in the 40.
That was a great kick.
Nice kick. It doesn't go his way, but it puts him right in the corner. A great play from Maisiri, captain for Fiji. Showing today he's a smart footballer, reading the game and picking opportunities and where to run, but also his kicking game was on point right there.
Good work there. Sam Ririti doing well on the carry, and he's won them a penalty. Fiji ill-disciplined after a very nice kick. Put them in a good position. And so Tokelau, with just 30 seconds left, may have a couple more shots at it before the break. As Whaavai finds touch, they'll have a play of the ball right on halfway. Tokelau, with just a few plays left in the first half, will have to throw everything at it. It's Fongali who takes the initial hit up.
Got one more play.
Quickly now to Whaavai, who dummies. Once more into contact, he's held up. Last tackle called. And half-time whistle blows, so 12-6 the score will remain at half-time after a great start for Tokelau. Fiji have come back to take the lead, 12-6. Welcome back to our Pacifica Youth Cup action, and Fiji hold the lead here at halftime over Tokelau, 12-6. And it was an early attack from Tokelau. They got out of the gates quickly to begin with. A nice punch into the Fijian territory, and they were able to score first. As we look to the highlights, it was Sams Yosua, who's been an Energizer bunny all game for Tokelau, who went over to score. Great try here.
Great try, and he's picked up a couple of opportunities on the back of some of his big fellas carrying the ball, and on that occasion it was John Teo Martini with a quick play, one marker. Sams Yosua, great footwork, great vision, great speed. Great opportunity when they're putting the pressure all on Fiji and to open the scoring.
Fiji, after multiple attempts on the Tokelau line, were finally rewarded, this time a deflection and a little bit of luck. As the ball set up nicely for Kelly Lasanga. He went over to score.
And I like what Pautofa does here. He just shapes to pass, brings up the defensive line, nice dribble through, bit of a ricochet. There we said, a bit of luck. You make your own luck when you're the first one. You beat the opposition to the ball. Nice opening try for the Fijians.
Tokelau punished on this occasion, and as you made out, big man on small man. It was Malcolm Fa'avela who scored, and he's been very good today, Malcolm Fa'avela, with his line running and his abrasive attacking game.
He's been very strong, and he's picked opportunities because my city has wanted to play down that side. He's seen opportunities, whether they're trying to get at the little man Fa'avela and trying to spot him up and take those opportunities. But Yosefa Tuinao, he's been great in the middle for Fiji. He's the vice captain, so their leaders, they're really coming up with some strong performances for the Fijians, and they're doing just that. They're leading from the front for their sides. They're not out of it here, Tokelau. They've received the ball here from the kickoff to start the game. They've got to try and put some of this pressure on, and as I said during the commentary, I think they've got to try and keep the ball in play. They've got to try and keep the game alive. They are playing an opposition that are bigger than them, but if they can keep the game alive and go set for set, you'd think that their fitness and their energy will start to drain some of that from the opposition. If they can try and do that rather than kick out on the fall and make those errors, I think the game can start to fall their way. They'll get the opportunity, they get it back to 12 all, then they put some scoreboard pressure on the opposition.
They definitely seem a lot more rapid and urgent in their play on attack and defence, in the way that they can scramble and they can work in support. Tokelau, they've shown some real assertiveness in their play. So far, they're not at all out of it, but Fiji, with their big ball runners, have been difficult to stop. What do you think the messages will be from the coaches on how to try and combat that size disadvantage?
Well, it may not be to combat the size disadvantage, but defensively, get a lot stronger, get a lot tighter in your tackles for Fiji, be stronger in your peel. Try and take those opportunities for Sams Yosua to run and get control of the ruck. Tokelau, I'd be saying to them, keep giving the ball to the guys like John Te'u Martini, Kaiva Tulimanu, those guys, and even Yosua and Nemia. We saw the run that he had just coming off the bench. Those big fellas, give it to them. Let him play quick, find those opportunities, get the one-on-ones, get Sams Yosua to get out there. And when he does, push around the ball, he'll find some opportunities. You're either going to drag defenders off him, or he's going to find a pass to you and you're going to walk in.
When you say push around the ball, what do you mean?
So if you're around the ball or you're around the ruck area, what I'm saying is support and run forward. Run forward, so if there's an opportunity that somebody makes a break or gets in half opportunity, you're there to pass. There's opportunities where, in moments when Sams Yosua has jumped out, but he's had no support, he's looked around and no one's there. So if you're one pass away from him, just get on the front foot, almost like a cricket walk. You know, they say about cricket, when the bowler, you walk off the boundary, that, just walk, and then when at least you're on the front foot then to push and run.
Absolutely, and hopefully we see Tokelauans make that adjustment here in the second half as they advance up the field on their initial set off the kickoff in the beginning of the second half. They want to push it to that short side on the left, and they go that way. Fa'avai with a kick over the top. It's a high kick. Sirowalu is under it. And he's met sternly in defence, and he's driven back and over the line. Great work from Tokelau on the chase.
I was going to say a very good set from Tokelau to come up and get the kick, put it right in the corner. Fa'avai put a really nice kick right into the right-hand corner, but the chase was outstanding. That's the next best result after a try for Tokelau. What a start for them.
When you talk about a transition set off the kickoff, wanting to get into their territory, the way they finished that off with that nice kick and then the chase, you saw 5 Tokelau players racing up to take on Sirowalu and drive him back. It's a team effort and a great way to rally them as they attempt to bring themselves back into the game here in the second half. A nice carry from Remus Tulafono. Here comes Tokelau. This is their opportunity. They struck first in the first half. Can they strike first in the second? Yosua on the cutback, over the line, try time. To Martini with the try. One of the players you mentioned that they need to get the ball to, and they took your words as good advice. Willie, what a try.
Great try, great opening passage to the second half for Tokelau. Nice kick, nice constructed set to get themselves into the half. Some desperation, some urgency on their D. Forces the Fijians back behind the goal line. They have to drop out from the ensuing set. Just some tough running. Big fellas rolling up their sleeves. A nice play. Cut back to the inside to Tua Martini. Too strong. Got nice and low. His body position was fantastic. Right next to the post. Again, you'd expect a Solomona to throw this over. Even though he's taken it back 22 metres, you'd expect him to throw this over and level up the score. Great start for Tokelau.
Both soundings of the whistle in the first and second half, they've come out and they've caught this Fiji side off guard. And they've really brought themselves into this game with their ability to start well. And now it's just about sustaining it, isn't it?
That's right. And as it was, that try was built on the back of their defence. That came from their D and their urgency to kick chase, get numbers in the tackle, drive them back into the end goal. That'll be important for them here. Get behind these big fellas, get them to play quick. But when they're caught to defend these big Fijian blokes, they'll be trying to challenge them. They'll be trying to use their footwork and all their power. It's going to be built on the back of their D.
It's a successful conversion from Solomona. And with that, it's 12 all here, Fiji. Well, they'll be feeling like they need to get themselves right back to what they were able to do in the first half when they built some momentum. But Tokelau, they're not going away easily.
No, it's a great game. Great game on the scoreline, great game on the field. Both teams are having moments where they're in control of momentum and they're having the ascendancy. Right now, it's all Tokelau, as it was, as you said, at the start of the first half. Same's going here, start of the second half. You think about wrestling momentum when you have the ball. There's no reason why Fiji can't wrestle some of that momentum back through their D, either forcing an error or restricting the yardage.
Big hit coming in there. Strong carry. Yosua Nemia. Met hard in defence by Vitini Bua. These collisions are going to get more and more impactful as the game becomes more desperate. And you can feel the emotion in these collisions as yet again they go clattering into each other. This time, Tiu Martini gets the better end of it. A great run from him.
And how good has that been? That's been a real feature of the tournament, both boys and girls so far. People putting their bodies on the line. You see the crowd reaction to a big hit. It's fantastic.
Raffaele put the kick high, and it was knocked on the run back, on the kick return. Hifo with the mistake. And Tokelau, that's just what they needed.
Sioele Hifo on the kick return. Another smart kick, gets some air, puts it right in the corner. You see Tokelau. If you had to pause it there, there's 5 Tokelauans in the picture and only 3 Fijians. They're just more urgency at this moment in time, the Tokelauans. And they're just getting there, getting in numbers, forcing the error. I spoke about how they're going to win this game. It's going to be on the back of their D and efforts like that and the one before that set up the try, forcing them into the end goal.
And we saw there the man who dislodged the ball, John Tiu Martini, the try scorer. He has been very good on both sides of the ball, and on that occasion won that turnover.
Fantastic. He could have rested and been happy with scoring a try and setting was made up for the first try of the game, but he understands his responsibility to defend and come up with big plays just like that.
John Tiu Martini from St. Paul's College in Auckland and the Mangere Club, Mangere Marlins. Playing some great rugby league here today, showcasing his talents. What a great opportunity to see these young players in action as now Tokelau, Solomona faked a brilliant dummy and went away himself to score. Jonathan Solomona takes the lead for Tokelau.
And another try, and I'll come back to it. A try built on the back of their defence. They forced an error. And I thought it was a smart play off the scrum where Falvai gets the ball, just shows it. And rather than pass, he's shown his running threat. And he caught them by surprise that he actually took them on because there wasn't much doing. But because he took them on, he held some defenders. They weren't able to adjust Fiji and get around the corner. John Solomona, with his footwork, his power, his pace, scores in the corner, takes the lead back and wrestles it back for Tokelau. A well-deserved lead as well.
How about that dummy? Jonathan Solomona, the fake of the cut, really sold Troy Sande, who was left committed to a tackle on the cut back. And he ended up swerving around for the try, as we see here. That dummy bought him some real time, and he's able to straighten and go over. Great work from the fullback, Jonathan Solomona.
And too strong for the winger, Seruwalu. He's a powerful looking athlete, is Jonathan Solomona. And goal kicker extraordinaire for his side as well. He's got a big kick here to extend it out again to 6 points. Extend the lead out to 6 points here. But a wonderful, well-taken try and a well-deserved team try for Tokelau. Great start to the half. We're almost 10 minutes into the second half, and the Fijians still haven't touched the ball. Such has been the dominance of Tokelau.
Well, it's not flashy, is it? Something like a kick chase, but it's those small efforts and a team effort that you mentioned in a game like this that can be the things that separate these two teams. And the kick chase of Tokelau on 2 occasions now has created opportunities for them.
Very much so, and they've got to do it together. They haven't got individuals to overcome the opposition size or power-wise. Fiji have, and that's a danger that Tokelau have got to be careful of. So what Tokelau have to do, they've got to do it together. They've got to create those opportunities, like Whaavai, taking the ball, trying to get down, play on. What they've done really well is the quick play the balls, and I'll say it again, and create those opportunities for Jonathan Solomona on that one to score, but also for Sam Joshua to get out. That's the team game. They're playing for each other. They're creating opportunities like that.
Fiji with a retaliation in hand, I'm sure they'll be reeling. They're coming out in the second half, and Tokelau have scored 10 points on them.
And they've shown they can come back from behind. They've come from behind to take the lead already once in this game. They've shown that it's in them. And that's going to be a danger. There's still plenty of time. Got 20 minutes left. We've just got to play patient.
Yeah, they hit it up again. Meriti on the carry. Tokelau have taken the lead at 16-12. Nemea smashed by Veteni Bua. Great tackle.
Rory Veteni Bua. And I think he may have forced an error. I'm not sure what the referee's come in for, but that was an almighty shot. Comes off his left centre position.
Boom.
Oh, great shot. I don't know if the referee's got him for a shoulder charge, but looks like he's given a penalty to Tokelau. Yeah, that was putting him. Yeah, he's got him for a shoulder charge, but yeah, tough. He's put his body on the line for the team, and unfortunate. Tokelau, their momentum, the control of this game continues for now.
This seesawing match, the momentum certainly with Tokelau at the moment.
What Veteni Bula has done is he's put the opposition ball carriers on alert, and there won't be too many running his way.
Sometimes a big shot like that can really send shockwaves through a team, and more than just the ball carrier. As a strong carry there from Pereira. Joshua. Setu Whaavai. Joshua, dummying, going on his own. They've made good meters here.
Been very impressed with the young man.
Sams Joshua. Whaavai. Dummying and smacked again, but Veteni Bua.
There he goes again.
Knows how to use his shoulders for sure.
Wasn't a fluke the first one.
Oh, and an intercept. Lasanga's away. It's a chase down now. Yoshua's after him. It's a one-on-one, and he's going to win it. He waves goodbye. Kele Lasanga will go in over under the post, and Fiji, just like that, are back to 16 all, and with a conversion to come, could take the lead.
And how crazy and how quick can the game turn. And just like that, on the back of a couple of big shots, Fiji get a try to even up the scores with a kick to come under the post. But it was a smart play from Whaavai to go down the short side. Veteni Bula, the left centre, came in for another big shot. So they were short down there. They had a 3-on-1. in Fiji, Lasanga, the winger, put all his eggs in one basket. If he didn't come up with the play, Tokelau scored down this end. But put his mitts out, got the ball. It was a great 80-metre run, too fast for the opposition. And you've got to make the most of your opportunities, and he made a great read then, Lasanga. Wonderful response, and I've got to talk about it. Vateni Bulla, he's turning the game on its head. He's just saying to his team, I'm going to rock the opposition. Let's grow from this. We've got to grow.
His defence has certainly been a momentum-shifting facet for him today. He's been bone-rattling in his tackles, and, well, you have to comment on Kelly Lasanga switching the ball to his other hand to wave to the defender.
Not too sure about that one, eh?
Yeah, if you're a coach, what would you be saying to him after that?
Score the try and then wave. I'm sure the coach will have a little chat to him after, but he showed a clean pair of heels. No one from the Tokelauans got close to him.
Successful conversion, and Fiji have the lead. It's 18-16. This game continues to reward its audience with some fantastic action here at the Pacifica Youth Cup. What a contest between Tokelau and Fiji.
And we've still got a long way to go. We're only down by 2 points. Plenty to play for. I'm sure there's still a couple of scores for each side in this one. And both teams are in the mood to score and attack the opposition, and doing a great job at exposing any deficiencies in the opposition defensive line. And there's going to be a couple more chances, I feel, to come for both sides. I don't think the people in the scoreboard or operating the scoreboard are quite done for this game yet.
The finer details of this match are starting to really shine through, and the kickoff of Solomona is deep and taken down by Fiji, who managed to run it out past the 30-metre line. And now into the hands of Ravosai, who's met by 3 defenders. Back to the left, where Rounds takes it forward. Patofa.
They've not actually made a lot of metres on this set, Fiji, and they've come up with a knock-on. They've just rescued the lead, and they've just stopped running with any aggressive nature in this set. Mark Rounds caught the ball and he ran 20 metres, but they've hovered around this 40-metre mark for the majority of that set. They can't be sitting on their laurels and be happy with taking a 2-point lead.
Certainly not against this Tokelau side. It's a never give up attitude when it comes to Tokelau. You can tell they're resilient and they play for each other. And they are certainly in this match. It's a 2-point deficit and a scrum inside Fiji's half. Solomona manages to offload into the hands of Lafaeli, Peter Lafaeli. Solomona wants another hit up. In fact, he hands it off to Tulimanu, and he offloads. Yosua stepping. Tuinayao makes sure he's put to ground. Pereira. A penalty conceded by Fiji. And Tokelau, they're clapping. They can feel it, that frustration, Fiji.
And they're down to 12 men. There's a sin bin for Fiji. Big moment. Could be a big turning point in the game.
As Fiji inside, there's a sense that they're getting a little bit lethargic as they're tiring in this match. Still 13 minutes to play.
The referees ruled that Musi Ravosai has just been a bit too long in the ruck. It's happened once too often for the referee's liking, and he's put him in the bin for 10 minutes. Really tough defending in these conditions with 13 men on 13, let alone 12. But that's the situation that Fiji find themselves in now. And interesting that Tokelau decide to go for the 2. rather than take the numerical advantage and try and attack against them and increase the score. But they get themselves, hopefully, with Jonathan Solomon knocks us over, as he does, and we're back to 16 all. 18 all, sorry.
18 all indeed. Solomona successful with the penalty. As we mentioned at half-time, one of the important deciding factors in this match would be how quickly Tokelau could play the ball and how quickly they could tire out these big Fijian young men, I should say. And in the second half, you have to say that's been a factor.
It has. You look at the involvements and how many times Sam Joshua has been able to get out of dummy half, and he's been really smart in the moments that he's picked where it's either been one marker or he's left two markers, and his assessment of the situation around the ruck at the time that he goes, been quite impressed with when he's made his decisions to go. And as we said, he's getting a few more people pushing around him, which opens up some gaps even more so, either for himself or his support runners.
The yellow card for Fiji, a sin bin, means that they're playing down a man.
Knock on.
And a knock on. So Fiji will get their opportunity. Not the sort of error Tokelau would have wanted off the kickoff after getting themselves back to 18 all on the scoreboard with that penalty.
No, the Fijian defenders, they were all screaming at the referee for a knock on to go their way. The referee looked like he was going to play on for a moment there, but I'm not sure if he got a call from his touch judge, which seems to be the case. But Fiji now, after some solid, strong defence, forcing an error, get a chance to attack. We'll see how they play this with 12 men.
It was a big decision, wasn't it, to take that penalty kick and then decide to rely on their ability to get themselves out of their half off the kickoff and have a nice transition set.
For sure, and with 10 minutes to go and the score's locked up at 18 all, every decision's a big one, and Fiji just lose their opportunity on this set with a simple knock on from Botofa straight off the scrum. Whether that's nerves, you don't know, but big let off for the Tokelauans.
Certainly relief for Tokelau. 10 minutes left and a match in deadlock. It's 18 all and an error off the scrum. Couldn't even get into their set, Fiji. You've got to say there's got to be a combination of getting tired and getting frustrated. The second half hasn't gone their way. Tokelau have really taken control of things. Down 12-6 at the break. You'd have to say they've been the dominant team here.
Fatigue, frustrations, conditions, it can be quite slippery. When it's hot and sweaty, the ball can get wet, and it's almost like playing in the rain on some occasions. So your concentration's even more important.
Great tackle coming in there from Troy Sando, the centre, flying up on Solomona, putting him to ground. The defence is going to have to be good here, Fiji. And on that occasion, it was tested big time by the carry of Tulimanu, who bumped off a defender, and now Yosua again off the ruck, threatening. Fa'avai in behind. Tiu Matini. Lafaele. Can hear the coaches on the sideline yelling at his team, and the ball's bounced up and it's set up for Potuafa, who offloads nicely into the hands of Rounds. But what's the call here from the referee? A sideline official has come in.
I wondered if he was going to get him for this. They charged the ball down, and then the act of trying to go get the ball, he's pushed a Tokelauan player off the ball. So, because he's pushed a Tokelauan defender and taken his opportunity away to play at the ball, it's just created that penalty, and tough. There wasn't much in it. It was just enough of his hands on the jersey of the Tokelauan player. And I think the touch judge came up with it, and it was a correct call.
It's a massive moment in the match, isn't it?
I was wondering whether they'd come back for it, but it was a great charge down. And you run that risk. You run that risk when you do, but with 8 minutes to go, you've got to make these plays. Now they've got to defend with their 12-man line against this Tokelauans that have been the better team this second half.
in the hands of Pereira, who takes him on in the centre of the field. Tokelau with their tails up, attacking now, cutting back inside. Situ Whaavai, better defender. Over to Tulimanu, spinning close to the line, just short.
Much closer.
Yosua cutting back. The cut again with Te Matini, who scored a try already in that action. Whaavai does well to collect it. Solomona, quick hands, smashing hit out to the wing and into touch. Defence from Fiji, they survive.
Unlucky, and that was a mixture of some poor decisions I felt from Tokelau, but also some desperation and some keen defence from the Fijians. They went to Tulimanu to come back underneath the post. In his strength and his power, you'd think 9 times out of 10 he would have scored, but he went so close. They didn't have to go again. The spacing was out on the edges if they had to look. And then when they went to go out on the edge, didn't quite get the passing on the money. And the desperation from the Fijians. Wonderful defence from them with 12 men.
Very impressed by the line speed brought there by Sande. He managed to fly up and make a great tackle, force them to shift maybe earlier than they would have wanted to. So Fiji escape that attack from Tokelau. Mark Rounds with the ball.
I love these moments. The game's all tied up. We've got 6 minutes left. We don't just see who's the most physical, we see who's the most composed and the bigger thinkers as far as the game and their rugby league knowledge here out to try and get this game.
My City using some of that knowledge and saying, I don't want to play in my area of the field, and he puts a nice kick in. Sedawalu after it. Sedawalu collects it. Sedawalu's over. Amini Sedawalu scores for Fiji after an excellent kick chase, and they take the lead with just over 5 minutes left.
We talk about who was going to step up. It was My City. Wonderful kick. Looked like he was going for the 40-20, and it looked like the ball was going to go. But such was the urgency from the Fijians, and Sedawalu showing his toe to be more desperate as he did when he scored the try in the first half. Beating the Tokelauans to the ball, getting it cleanly. It was a play that was going to go either way in the fortunes of Fiji, either a 40-20 or a nice clean pickup underneath the post to score and rescue that lead again. With this kick to come, it's 22-18, could be 24 with the kick, 5 minutes to go. As I said, there's still some tries in here. I still think Tokelau could get something out of this.
They have the energy, they've controlled the play, but 2 opportunistic tries, one an intercept from Lasanga, and then this, the kick chase from Sedawalu, could put Fiji back in front. They've scored long-range tries. They haven't had the fair share of possession that Tokelau have had, but when they've had opportunities, they've snatched them. And here now, with just over 5 minutes left, they can snatch the lead.
And that was just effort. That was just effort from Sedawalu to chase the ball and be a bit more desperate than the chasers. There's some elements of ability with the speed that he's got, but just his desperation and to read it. And, regardless of whether the kick was going to go 40-20, he was going to be the first one to it. Great reward for him. And Masariri, big physical halfback. He's read some nice plays this afternoon. Wonderful kicking, a nice read to try and come up with the 40-20 in the first place. To find his side some field position, he's found more than that. He's found 4 points.
So Fiji with the lead here. Amini Sedawalu from Palmerston North Boys High School.
They need to get a move on here to the Tokelauans. Time's ticking away. At the time of scoring, it was 5 minutes. We're down to 3.5 now. If they can kick off, they can hopefully get the ball for 2 sets. They're just got to show some desperation.
Certainly soaking up clock. Yeah,
and they'll get it back.
They will. Sams Yosua collects it and hands it off to Pereira. So Tokelau with a tactical restart. They've won back possession. It's 24-18, 6 points in it. 3 minutes to go. Yosua always involved. Not afraid to take on the line, and he gets sent back for his efforts.
He's been close to the best on the ground this afternoon. Sams Yosua, outstanding.
Stepping, taking on the line there. Setu Whaavai. Told to take it back from the mark. You saw wide they come. Whaavai, Solomona, one-on-one, out wide. And Fungali goes over Tokelau just like that. So you're not done with us yet.
No, and I thought Solomona could have gone himself. He did the right thing to pass, but that was the right side to go to. They only had 3 defenders out there in all that space just there. If Solomon had held it, he probably could have got a little bit closer to the post, and this is what I'm thinking about. The kick now is really important, but they get the ball back. If they don't, they come up with a desperation set. Smart kick from the kickoff, and again, the 2 chasers putting some pressure on the receiver from Fiji, comes up with the error, opportunities come their way. You work harder than the opposition, more often than not, the chances go your way.
Harlem Fongali with the try from Waitakere and the Maris Club.
Again,
now, Jonathan Solomona, a big kick. His goal kicking has been good today.
Very good. They need this, and I understand him taking his time. Such is the necessity for the kick and the 2 points. He's also got to be conscious of the clock. We're just creeping into the last minute of game time here. And we'll take it into the last opportunity for Tokelau to attack.
It's a good kick. Jonathan Solomona.
Unlucky.
It's away. It was nicely struck, but just over to that right side.
And
So it's 24-22.
You'd expect now Fiji to take their time. It's important to see if the referee stops the clock once the touch judges are in place. No stopping the clock. Looks like it's going to be just wind it down. Fiji are in no hurry.
Tokelau, they may only get 1 play at it, but they are worthy of that chance. They have fought and clawed back into this match as a team, and there's 2 points in it, and they're going to have the ball. My City sends it down to Whaavai, and the hit up is Tulimanu.
What do we got on last play? Can't get tackled.
One more time. The siren hasn't gone, so they should get 1 last play at it. Here for Tokelau, their last chance. No. Full time called. He went to ground, and Tokelau fall just short in what has been an epic encounter here between 2 impressive young teams. Fiji just taking it over Tokelau, 24-22.
Fantastic, wonderful game from both sides. Tokelau, I thought, probably pipped Fiji as the better team. And Fiji just took their opportunities, the intercept try, and then the kickoff going for the 40-20, and Sirawalu chasing the ball down.
So full time here.